And now I'd like to introduce you to Christian. Nice to meet you.
Nice
and he
to
is
meet
also
you.
a marine biologist.
Yes.
Just graduated from college. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about turtles because turtles are very important here. We have the loggerhead myrtle, correct?
Yep.
And this is a replica of what kind of an egg that you would see?
Loggerhead sea turtles.
And they are on the beach, correct?
Yes.
And they are protected.
Yes. Most importantly.
More importantly. And then when you go walk on the beach, this is something I want to educate you as well. If you ever see the stakes in the sand, and they're usually up by the grass line, but you never know.
By the dunes.
By the dunes. They put a ribbon around it, usually orange. And that's a nest egg. And do not interfere with that. Do not, please, build a sandcastle in front of it either.
Exactly.
No holes, because when these turtles hatch, they fall into them, and that means they don't go into the ocean, correct? So it's really important to understand, and there's so many wonderful exhibits to learn about this. But also here we have, we have our big turtles, but we have our little turtles, and there are some people who are sharing and holding them now. How many species do we have in the Lowcountry?
So in the Lowcountry, we have about 5 typical turtles here. Okay, we have our common snapping turtle. All right, we have our eastern mud turtle, our yellow-bellied slider. All right, our diamondback terrapin, and our box turtle. These are just more as opposed to freshwater and estuary salt marsh turtles, as opposed to our sea turtles that live, out in the ocean. And
well, show us that.
Yeah, of course.
What do we have?
So over here we have ourselves a diamondback terrapin, right? And these guys are actually super cool because they're the only.
Can you face the camera? Show this face.
Yeah, he looks like almost like a cheetah. And these guys are actually super cool because they're the only reptile here that's actually able to live in salt water. All right, so salt marshes, estuaries, brackish water, any area like that, you're gonna find these guys there. And what's even more cool about them is the reason they're allowed to thrive in salt water is because they have special glands around their eyes that are able to expel all that excess salt, which allows them to live in salt water, as opposed to this little guy right here, our freshwater yellow-bellied slider. Yeah, so these guys mainly only live in freshwater. These are going to be your typical common turtle that you see in lakes, ponds, streams, things like that, as opposed to these guys who are only going to really live in salt water, salt marshes, things like that.
And what about a snapping turtles? Do we have those?
Yeah, we do. We do have snapping turtles.
Is that on the list here?
Yes, I believe it is right down there, the common snapping turtle, as you can see.
All right, so we know, don't touch those, they will snap.
Yes, they are. They snap. They definitely do.
Well, it's very nice. Let's keep going. We have some lizards after you.
Yes,
so let's go talk to Charlotte. Can we go over here and take a look at your lizards?
Oh, yeah, actually, we can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not doing it? Okay, Kristen.
Yeah.
We're switching with you. So who do we have?
So in here we have an oak toad, we have a tree frog, and we have a green anole. A green anole is just your typical lizard that you're going to see out in the Lowcountry. What's really cool about these guys is they're actually able to drop their tail, right? So if a bird's chasing them, they'll drop that tail, and they'll just go scurry off while their tail's kind of, just flattering around, and then they'll go and hide. And a few weeks later, his tail will regenerate. The only thing is it regenerates with just cartilage and mainly softer material, as opposed to his first tail that's more bony.
Well, because we have them in the house here, and I actually tried to grab one, and I actually pulled his tail, and he detached, and I was like, oh no. I was so terrible. I didn't mean to detach him. I just wanted him out of the house. But it's been so much fun talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
And I'm excited to introduce you to Lane. Lane, this is the alligator section, and as you can see, we got a little guy here. And below me, there's all these little kids. 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and look at they're petting them. I mean, you are all so brave. I'm not that brave.
That's okay. They're not for everybody.
Tell me about this guy. How old is he?
So these guys are only 4 years old. They're still a bit smaller than you would see if you found a 4-year-old out in the wild, because they're grow a little slower in human care. But yeah, they're about the size that they would still be with their moms if you see them out in the wild. So if you see the little guys, you definitely want to give them their space because mama's not too far to protect them.
And that is a 4-year-old?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. This is the closest I've ever been to an alligator general. So tell us about their habitat. I know, Hilton Head, we have a lot of alligators. Let's talk to our viewers and give them a little education about them.
Yep. So these guys, they like to hang out in fresh water. So you can find them in any of the ponds or lagoons around here. And with all the golf courses we have around, they have a little more home to take over. But you can also find them in the salt marshes or even the ocean, but not for very long. They'll go in there if they have any grime they want to break up on their back, anything that's growing on there, they'll break that down. But any body of water that you see, they could be in there. and so they could be hanging out under the water there.
And I want to also say, as I think a safety tip, lots of people bring their little children by the edge of the water, and my heart always kind of stops because, like you said, below there could be an alligator, and we just don't know. The little ones are equal to like a dog or a deer or something from their natural prey list, right? Predator list. So I think it's really important. Kids, animals, anything small, even humans, but it's the little guys, wouldn't you say?
Yep, you definitely want to keep your distance, especially keep your dogs on the other side of the road if you're walking near a pond. Because as good of hunters as they are, they sometimes make mistakes. We all do. So they might mistake you for something that they're looking for. But my best rule of thumb is to look for them. They're fun. They're cool to see. But definitely keep your distance. Stay pretty far away. That way everybody stays safe.
Yeah. Well, you're also an intern. I want to quickly ask you, are you a biology major?
Yes.
And what are you studying?
So I'm studying biology and then also environmental studies and psych. I hope to go into some form of conservation and research because these guys are really cool and fun. And just as much as we like to hang out on Earth, they deserve a spot too. So kind of keeping everybody informed and engaged so that we can all learn about them and have fun.
Well, nice to meet you. We have one more exhibit to go to. Let's go check out the chickens. And part of the Meet Greet program, they have the chickens. And Sara, you are here, the leader of the chicken exhibit here. And I'm excited. Guess what? I get to name this guy. And what do you think? Melvin, George, what do you think?
I think George sounds good.
George. All right. This is George. And don't forget to stop by. Chickens are actually very lovable. They love to be hugged. So what do you think?
Yeah, they love to be pet. They really like being held. And when everybody's very gentle, they're very calm. And it's a really fun experience.
All right. Thank you for letting us stop by.
Of course. Thank you.